Alright, it is time for another limited time series. And this is the last one for the current version, 6.6, before the big 7.0 Circuit of the Americas update rolls out next Monday. No, not next Monday, week after next Monday. Since, as you can see, this last limited time series, we still have 9 days to go. So, in about 9 days, yeah, basically when this one expires is when the next version will roll out. So, anyway, let's talk about this event. It's for Porsche 911 Carrera S, which is not a new car. As you can see, I already own it, even though I haven't run through this event yet. This car is, I want to say, a couple of years old, and I won it through one of the older gauntlet challenges back in the day. So, when I won this car, I won it with just the first tier cash upgrades only. So, in order for me to complete this limited time series, I'm going to have to actually spend some gold in upgrades to bring my PR up to the required number, which is 55. So, obviously, if you already have the car and your PR is above 55, then there's no reason for you to not run through and pick up 70 gold. You know, that's a good deal. Or if you don't own the car, then you should run through and win the car, because limited time series is, of course, one of the easiest way to win these cars, and definitely cheaper than buying the car outright. So, yeah, let's jump in, find out what this is all about, right? Get a quick overview here. Win a Porsche 911 Carrera S by 100% completing this special limited time series, a complete all-in-one package that reinvigorates the classic spirit of the 911. Cool stuff. And of course, mine is customized with some Halloween liveries for some pirate theme going on here. So anyway, the usual 15 tier limited time series. If you want to complete it right away, costs 605 gold. Don't do that. It's not economically, it doesn't make sense economically. Anyway, here's the prize breakdown, the reward breakdown, in 25% completion increment as usual. 25% completion, you get there by completing 4 tiers, right? So, assuming that you're winning mostly gold trophies, because if you get silver or bronze, your completion, you have to go further in the series to achieve the same amount of completion percentage, right? So, upon tier 4 completion, it'll be 25% for 5 gold. And most likely, you're going to have to put some gold on upgrades to be able to complete that tier 4. That's generally the way they've been running these. And tier 8, when you don't have to complete the tier 8, but if you get 2 events out of the 3, once again, gold trophies out of those, you will achieve 50% completion, which is gonna reward you extra 10 gold. Excuse me. Still not that much, right? And then for 75% completion, you're gonna have to at least complete 1 event in tier 12, and that will be for extra 20 gold there. And then, of course, if you're running through the limited time series, you should really, I cannot really think of any situations where, except for maybe some really weird scenario that you find yourself in, where, I don't know, I cannot really think of any good reason why, if you're running through, you stop in the middle, other than you ran out of time, which is, not good. But yeah, if you're running through the limited time series, you want to run through it all the way. So because the big prize is always at the end upon 100% completion. So if you don't have the car, if you don't do 100%, you just spent a lot of gold to run through, but you don't end up with a car. So what good is that, right? That makes no sense. And if you're putting upgrades on the car, the last reward, 35 gold, is the biggest return. So might as well go all the way, right? Speaking of going all the way, let's complete this using gold. So there's a 70 gold reward. Just so we can have a quick overview here. Of course, I'm not going to keep it at where it is. So now that it's completed, let's hop back into the limited time series so we can check out the detail of what we need. So tier 15, starting with the last tier here, let's just check out confirm the PR requirement to compete in this 5-lapper cup race at Catalunya National, I think. Yep. So as you can see, PR 55 is what's required, and we're at it. So I got first tier upgrades, which is all cash upgrade, by the way, and that brings my PR up to 43.7. So that's where I'm starting. Obviously, if you've never driven this car, your starting point would be at stock PR, which is a little bit lower. I'm thinking maybe 5-6 points lower, so around 38, I believe, is where it starts. So let's walk through here, check out the different events in each tier to see if we come across any problematic events, right? So tier 1, the first few tiers, we shouldn't really have any issue, even when you're running in critical condition. So we got endurance at Spa, head-to-head at Monza Road Course. All right, is that a multiple lap? No, just a single lap. Okay, good. So that's not too bad. And the cup race is going to be at Daytona Motorcycle Course, just a single lapper. And of course, first tier does not have any PR requirement. So if you want to just check out the car, you can at least run through, do 5 different races. The 3 from tier 1 and the 2 from tier 2, namely Autocross at Le Mans and the Speed Snap at Brands Hatch. And if you're running stock, you're not going to be able to run this cup race at Nürburgring in tier 2. So 3-lapper, and the PR required to compete here is 41.7. So that is, I can guarantee you that is going to be higher than stock, right? So you do need to put some cash upgrades on, and let's move on. Tier 3, we got Hunter at Catalunya Grand Prix, Elimination at Dubai International, and Cup at Porsche Test Track, a long road circuit. Single lapper. And the PR required here is, 43. Alright, so it's climbing up. And then, of course, if you want to claim that 5 gold for 25% completion, you have to complete this tier 4. And we got speed record at Hong Kong. I don't think that'll be too much of an issue, even when your car is in critical condition. For a couple of reasons, it's only tier 4. So early tiers, usually, your target is a bit lower. And we got a drag race at the Brickyard Road Course, but it's a drag race. So I think there are slight difference in the length that you race, depending on where it is. But, I don't know. It's a drag race. So that's that. Anyway, the important one is, of course, the cup race at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca, double lapper. And the PR requirement, I have a feeling it's going to be higher than what mine is at, which is cash upgrades, 43.7. You need 44.4. So, as I was saying, you're not going to be able to win any gold through this event without spending more, right? So, in order to bring this car's PR up to 44.4, could I just go with most likely brakes will get me there because second tier upgrade here is 16 gold, but then the following is most likely going to be a cash upgrade, which will push me way above 44.4 because the second tier gets me up to 44.2. But anyway, we'll talk about the upgrades later and the cost in a little bit. Let's do a quick overview of the series here for the time being. And at tier 5, we got autocross at Red Bull Ring National Circuit, endurance at Silverstone International, and the cup is at Melbourne. 3 laps, and the PR requirement is 45.5. All right, so, but that's not really a significant point here. Significant tiers are tier 4, tier 8, tier 12, and of course the tier 15, because that's where we actually get to collect some gold back, right? Anyway, tier 6, we got a head-to-head at Mount Panorama, most likely a single lapper. That's good. Speed Snap at New York. I think, obviously, if you don't service your car, by the time you reach tier 6, your car is deep in red. But the Speed Snap at New York, I think you should be able to pull it off without service. We'll see. And then the cup race to unlock the next tier, tier 7, is at Hockenheim National, and it's a double lapper with a PR requirement of 46.5. Alright. Tier 7, elimination at Suzuka West, autocross at Daytona Motorcycle, none of which is going to be really that difficult. And then cup is going to be at Dubai Grand Prix. Ooh, 2 laps. Yeah, this limited time series, it's not going to be as short as the last one because obviously M1 being perhaps a little bit slower car than this 911 Carrera S. We got a lot of single lapper cup races, but in this one, PR requirement is 47.4 here. But we're getting a little bit longer format races in this limited time series than the last one. Tier 8, of course, this is where you're going to get 50% completion. So in order to do that, you don't have to complete the tier 8, as I said earlier, but you do need to go through this cup in tier 7, which had a PR requirement of 47.4. So that's what you need to complete 50%. And here we got speed record at Porsche Test Track, short road circuit, so that shouldn't be too bad. Hunter at Le Mans. Oy, that's always a long race because you have to, Hunter, you have to do a full lap. And Le Mans currently, and for the time being, the longest track available in the game. So that's going to be, a full lap. So with this car, I'm expecting it's going to take a few minutes, maybe somewhere around 4 minutes. I don't know. I'm just guessing here. Anyway, tier 8, the last cup race is going to be at Indianapolis road course. Double lapper, and the PR requirement is 48.3. All right. Tier 9, we got Speed Snap at Silverstone Grand Prix. That one, let's see. That one is what? Like right before I want to say the finish line for that Speed Snap at Silverstone Grand Prix is right before the bridge down the Wellington Straight. So it is really about how well you can negotiate the village section, the loop and Aintree. and coming out into the Wellington Strait. So I don't know. Um, this one might get a little tricky running in critical conditions. So this might be a spot where you have to service the car. This would be the first time you service the car, I think. Possibly. I don't know. We'll see. And we got endurance at, once again, Red Bull Ring National Circuit. And then cup races at Suzuka East, a short one, 4 laps. And the PR requirement is 49.2, which really does not bear much significance because Tier 9 completing it doesn't really do much other than unlocking Tier 10. Alright, so Tier 10 we got head-to-head at Catalunya Club. That's a short one. How many laps? Just a single lap? Okay, so that's going to be a pretty quick one. And then we got elimination at Nürburgring, sprint circuit. Now, elimination, you guys know how long those take. And then the cup race is going to be at Monza Road Course, double lapper. And the PR requirement is 50.2, so now we're pushing 50 plus here. And Tier 11, we got autocross at Dubai National, speed snap at Hockenheim Grand Prix, and cup is at Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. So for speed snap at Hockenheim GP, that is what? Before Mercedes curve, right? Mercedes corner. So it's really about how well you negotiate the hairpin, which is the Grand Prix circuit feature, right? Anyway, so that one generally does not turns out to be too difficult, so I'm assuming we probably don't need to service the car there. Anyway, what's the cup here? 6 laps. Alright, that's a good lap count. Brands Hatch, of course, not terribly large, so but still 6 laps is a 6 laps. So, as I was saying, this longer format races, we're getting a few here. And then PR requirement 51.1 for that. And of course, so that's 51.1 is what you need to accomplish Tier 12, meaning 75% completion. Alright, so you need to do at least one to get 75%. And Hunter probably is the easiest one at New York. And speed record at Melbourne is typically not usually a troublemaker. And then cup is at Nürburgring Grand Prix. Once again, 2 laps of these Grand Prix circuits. All right. And the PR requirement is 52. All right, so we're getting pretty close to 55, as you would expect. And Tier 13, we got head-to-head at Porsche Test Track Dynamic Circuit. So that's going to be a pretty short one, just a single lapper. All right. Autocross at Suzuka Grand Prix. And let's see, cup is at Red Bull Grand Prix. Is that going to be double lapper as well? It's a triple. All right, because Red Bull Ring, of course, not as large as some other Grand Prix circuits, with a PR requirement of 52.9. All right, so then, of course, next, Tier 14, we got a speed snap at Hong Kong, which is generally not a big deal. That, of course, happens in that final, like, parabolica section heading towards the finish line. And elimination at the Monza Junior course. Once again, elimination, it's you run for a set duration of time, so it doesn't really matter which track, once again. And the cup at Silverstone Bridge Grand Prix, 3 laps. That's getting kind of lengthy, because Bridge Grand Prix circuit at Silverstone is not that short. The PR requirement 53.9. All right. And finally, we of course already know the final cup race for the 100% completion at Tier 15 is the cup race at the Catalunya National Circuit. But before that, we got the speed snap at Dubai Hill Circuit. Then we have one for the M1 limited time series as well. I feel like there was one speed record at Dubai Hill, either in Tier 15 or Tier 14. Eh, well, what we know is it's doable with the car in critical condition, so perhaps um, that's something nice to know. And then endurance at Hockenheim short, so that's fine. And then, of course, the final one is the 5-lapper. All right, so let's check out the upgrades, right? Because that's the important thing. That's the thing that's going to cost us. So once again, the 70 is the reward that we get in return. And in the past, the reward is about around third of the total cost of upgrades. Not always, but that's just kind of a general ballpark. So if we go with that equation, I'm anticipating the upgrade cost is going to be around 210, like 3 times 70 gold, right? So if you think about it that way, so if it costs 210 to upgrade, that means we get 33.3% discount on these upgrades that we need to get, which is not a bad deal, right? So if you think about it as an upgrade discount, hopefully makes you feel better about it. So anyway, let's find out what the cost is going to be. So the other limited time series, when we got up to 3rd tier upgrades, it was right on the money for the PR requirements. So let's see if that is the case here. So engine 26 gold, and then we got cash upgrade following, but we'll just use the gold to expedite this, and brings the PR up to 45. Right. And then drivetrain is going to be 24. So the engine was 26, right? So that is total of 50 gold to bring the PR up to 46.6. And the body is 18, so that brings our total cost up to 68 so far. And the cash upgrade will get that as well, brings our PR up to 48. So that's pretty close to 70 gold that we're going to get back. But, our PR is pretty far away from where we need it to be. So, yep. So we're at 68, right? So with the extra 22, that brings the cost up to what? 90 gold that we're spending now. So after 90 gold spent, the PR is up to 49.4. And then let's keep it going. Another 22. So we're up to 90. So what? That's 112 gold. Right? And brings our PR up to 51.1. So we're at 112. Another 16. 128. Right? And that brings the PR up to 52.2. And we're not going to make it, are we? Another 20. How much did we spend? 100. I lost track of where we were. I want to say we were in 128 or something like that. So with another 20, that would be 148. And with the cash upgrade, we're up to 53.7, which is, 1.3 PR points shy of 55, right? And we've spent 148. Is that right? All right, so let's check out. The brake's always the cheapest one, right? But it's a dead end. If we spend 38 gold, it brings our PR up to 54.3, but it's, obviously not as high as we need it to be, and there's no other way to get around it. So that's 38 gold there. So we'll have to combine. We need to get 2 upgrades, because I don't think any single upgrade will bring our PR quite up to 55, because that is a big PR gap for a single upgrade to cover. So suspension, once again, dead end for 50 gold, and we don't quite get up to what we need. How about drivetrain? I suspect the same, and yep, 55 gold, but once again, PR is not high enough. How about engine? We do have more than one upgrade available here. So 55 gold, which will bring our total cost to 203, right? Because we're at 148, right? So plus 55 would bring our total up to 203. But the important thing is it's not a dead end. So 55.1, and it's a cash upgrade there. So yeah, I believe that's the cheapest way to get your car's PR up to 55 plus, right? Sufficient. So 5 upgrades on engine and 3 across the board for the remaining categories for the cost of 203 gold, right? And whatever racing dollar that you have to spend. So yeah, as I was saying, that's actually a little bit better, because that's less than 210, which would be the one. If we, so we're getting basically better than 33.3% discount on these upgrades. Obviously, if you get more upgrades, the discount rate diminishes, because your reward isn't getting any larger. So yeah, that's actually not a bad deal for upgrades. Anytime you get, like, what is that percentage turns out to be? I mean, it's going to be pretty close to 34, somewhere between 30. It's more than 33.3%, right? Because it's more than a third that we're getting back for 70 gold. So yeah, 34% perhaps discount on upgrades. Hey, that is heck of a deal on upgrades. So anyway, that is all I have for you guys in this video. Overview of the limited time series featuring 911 Carrera S here, and the upgrade scheme, cost, and whatnot. So, I'm really looking forward to the next update with Circuit of the Americas track. The new track being introduced. I've been asking for that track for a long time, so it's nice when they deliver. So anyway, that would be another video for another time. For now, that does it for this one. So take care, and we'll see you in the next video. All right, bye.